Welcome everyone back to the Mario Sluggers League after a few-month hiatus. Tonight we have a Saturday night showdown here in Wario City with a matchup between the Wario Muscles and the Mario Fireballs. We have to start with an apology for the delay. Many of the players became unavailable due to having to be gone working on the new Mario and Luigi Brothership game that recently released, so the season had to go on hold for a few months. The League and the Players Association are working on restructuring contracts for next season to avoid any scheduling conflicts so that the 2025 season goes more smoothly when it starts in March. Now that that is out of the way, we're back with you to finish out the season, culminating in these last two games, followed by the playoffs to crown the 2020 for Mario Sluggers League champions in time to get the players home for the holidays at the end of December. I'm Danny Diamond, joined by my broadcast colleague, the one and only Toadsworth, to bring you this penultimate game of the regular season. Toadsworth, what do you think of these two lineups here tonight?
Thanks, Danny, and thank you everyone for your patience this season. As for these lineups, these teams play with quite the opposite game plan. Mario coaches his team on patience and consistency, while Wario and his team swing freely for the fences. While watching the Fireballs, you can typically expect sound fundamentals, but nothing flashy with the Muscles. They almost play with an all-or-nothing style that can either pay off or cause them to crash and burn. This game will be a fun little test on whether or not taking risks is worth it or playing it safe wins the game. You can see the Wario Muscles batters have struggled quite a bit with getting on base, and that has resulted in their winless record. And if we take a look at the team rankings here, we can see that both teams struggle at the plate a bit, but the biggest difference is on the mound. While the Wario Muscles struggle with their pitching, the Mario Fireballs excel on the rubber. I expect he's to make the difference in this game.
Thanks, Toadsworth. The real question is, will this be the game that Wario's inclination for risk-taking pays off, or will it continue to be a fruitless effort keeping them winless on the season? Let's get down to the field for first pitch and find out. We start this game with King Boo on the mound and Baby Mario leading off. There's a line drive that's snatched from base hit land by Goomba for the first out.
That's unusual for Mario's team to be aggressive and swing at the first pitch, but I'm also not surprised because it's quite impossible to expect a baby to have patience with anything.
We'll see Luigi up next, who is still looking for his first career hit. And there it is as Luigi finds an empty spot to hit the ball to, and he gets on for a one-out single. Mario flips up to the plate looking to drive his brother in to take an early lead. That one is crushed to right field. Paratrooper is underneath it and leaps, and it is caught as Mario is robbed of a two-run blast.
That was absolutely bonkers, Danny. Even though Paratrooper has wings, the timing still has to be impeccable, and it was, and that's a huge two-run saving play. That could have shifted the early momentum of this game in the Fireball's favour, and with the Wario Muscles struggles this season, that could have essentially ended the game early if that got over the wall.
They can't breathe easy yet as the power of Blue Piana strolls up next. That ball is hit in the air, but pretty much right at Paragoomba in left field for the final out of the opening half of the first inning.
Solid work in the field by the Muscles there. Some solid defense kept the Fireballs from striking first.
Koopa is going to lead it off here for the Wario Muscles, batting 200 thus far.
Batting 200 isn't quite what you want from your lead-off hitter, but I think that's just a microcosm of how Wario's team operates.
And it'll go down even more as he grounds out to first base. Next is Red Koopa, and to your point, Toadsworth, it's clear Wario's team does not put emphasis on getting on base as much as just swinging freely for big hits.
Right, and there's another ground out on a pitch that was on the outside of the plate. That was one he probably should have let go, as it was a worse pitch than the previous one he took for a strike.
Boo floats up next and takes the first pitch for a strike. This one is slapped the other way and drops down just in front of Baby Luigi for a base hit.
See, that's the kind of thing the Wario Muscles need to be doing. Right there, Boo took a not-so-great pitch and let it go even though it was a strike. Then took a swing at a better pitch and was rewarded with a hit.
King Boo up next and takes the second pitch for a ball to even the count at 1-1.
And takes another bad pitch for a ball. This is solid plate discipline, and I bet it works out for him.
Liner to center field, and right you are Toadsworth as that one just gets down for back-to-back hits for the Muscles.
This is a clutch opportunity here for Wario with 2 outs, and an opportunity to give his team the early lead and the momentum that comes along with it.
Wario went 0-4-2 last game, but does have a home run and 2 RBIs to his credit this season. Solid contact up the middle, this one gets down, and the ball gets shot towards right field, turning this one into trouble for Mario. And both runs will score, giving the Wario Muscles an early 2-run lead.
Unfortunately, baby Mario really undershot his route to the ball, thus allowing the ball to get past him, and then chaos erupted from there. I think the scorekeepers will chalk this one up as a 2 RBI double, but I can see an argument for giving baby Mario an error on that one.
Waluigi will waddle in now with a chance to keep the momentum going. He has a very respectable 750 batting average this season. Red Pianta makes a sensational play, and the throw is just in time to end the inning.
Yeah, Waluigi used his lyre swing star skill, causing a wonky trajectory on the ball in play, but Red Pianta laid out for it, and a strong throw got him out.
Speak of the devil himself, Red Pianta is up to bat, hitting an even .500 thus far into the season.
A very respectable bat for the Fireballs he is.
A line shot up the middle, and the bipartisan street arrow will send this one to the left as Paragoomba chases it down.
Yeah, the Rules Committee allows as much wackiness in these fields as they desire, but they have to show no favoritism.
Now Blooper batting .500 will have a chance to cut into the Muscles' lead here with an RBI chance. Liner that drops and Red Pianta rounds third, but hustles back to the base so they won't score on this play.
Yeah, hard to know if he could have made it. Red Pianta doesn't have the speed, but Paragoomba also literally doesn't have an arm, so hard to know if he would have made it. Given that there are no outs though, probably the correct call to hold up and trust your other bats.
Here's Monty Mole lines it and caught by Wario and doubles off Blooper at first. So they went from no outs to 2 outs in a flash.
Yeah, that's a rally killer for sure.
Green Noki will try to salvage this with their .667 batting average, and it's a grounder to shortstop that will end the inning.
Well, Danny, momentum is huge in baseball as it is in any sport, and the Muscles took the early momentum and denied any chance for the Fireballs to take it back. We'll have to see if they can hold on to it and carry them through the next 3.5 innings.
The Fireballs will face the bottom of the Muscles lineup, starting with Paratroopa batting an even .500. That's a softly hit grounder that Monty will scoop up and make the throw for an easy first out.
That's a big out for Blooper on the mound, as the next 2 batters are hitless thus far in the season.
Goomba takes the first pitch for a strike. This one is lined to Mario in right field, and it sails just over his head for a base hit.
Those are the ones you want back in the outfield. You always think to yourself, maybe if I got a better jump or taken a better route, I could have gotten to it in time.
It ends up being a moot point, though, as Paragoomba lines out to Green Noki, who doubles up Goomba at first base.
It's always a relief when you can put the should've, could've and would've's behind you and it ends up working out okay for your team.
Baby Luigi will now get his turn up to bat, also waiting for his first career hit. He hits that one hard, but it looks like it's going to float up just a bit too much as Paragoomba camps under it for the first out. There seems to be a lot of players in this league still hitless after each team has played twice so far. Does that say more about the great pitching or more about poor hitting?
As baby Mario scores a base hit, I'll answer that by saying it's likely neither of those things necessarily. My thoughts are it shows that the players are just getting used to real game speed. This being the first official season, the bats are still warming up, and since it's such a truncated season, they may never quite fully warm up. Hitting a baseball really requires developed coordination and muscle memory that you develop through repetition. They're essentially all in their rookie season.
Great point. And after a pitching change and a sensational play by King Boo to double up Luigi and baby Mario, we'll move on to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. While the action continues, let's briefly turn it over to our on-field reporter, the lovely Pauline, for a quick update after talking with Mario last half inning. Take it away, Pauline.
Thanks, guys. I just spoke with Mario in the dugout, and he's staying optimistic despite the Fireballs trailing to 0 here in the 3rd inning. He told me the team is sticking to their game plan, emphasizing patience at the plate and focusing on driving in runs. Mario mentioned they're aiming to get Blooper back on track after that rough 1st inning and to lean on their defense to keep it a tight game, with King Boo's tricky pitches giving them trouble before being replaced by Wario. Mario said they're looking to adjust their swings and focus on small ball tactics like plate discipline, base running, and finding gaps to chip away at Wario's lead. Mario is confident they can turn things around and improve to 2-1, which would all but secure a playoff spot for his team. He also noted that the Fireballs are fully aware of how tight the Mushroom League standings are and how crucial this game is, with the Peach Monarchs already finishing their season at 1-2 and the Yoshi Eggs playing next weekend. Mario's fired up and he's rallying his team to stay loose and fight back 1 inning at a time. Back to you in the booth.
Thanks, Pauline, for the insight. We're back as King Boo lines it straight to Mario for the final out of the 3rd inning.
Interesting report from Pauline. I have to say it's a little puzzling knowing that Mario admitted to having trouble with King Boo's pitching, but Wario decided to pull King Boo from the mound even though he's allowed no runs thus far. I have to wonder if there's something he noticed that we couldn't see from here. Possibly some early signs of tiring out.
Mario loops this fly ball that drops into the glove of Paratroopa at the warning track. It's an interesting point you make, Toadsworth. No runs allowed, and only for its in 2 innings, is a fairly solid pitching performance after 2 1/3 innings pitched. He must have been tiring out. And here's a base hit for Blue Piano with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
I will say it's difficult for us in the booth to see the entire picture. It's very possible there was a discussion in the dugout before the 3rd inning where King Boo admitted to being near the end of his rope, but Wario let him go out and try to go another inning. But when he allowed a hit to baby Mario, that was time to make the change. Ultimately, it's all conjecture on our part, and we'll have to see how everything plays out. But right now, we have both Beyontus on base for the Fireballs with 1 out.
And Blue Piana just barely makes it back to 2nd base after almost deciding to take off for 3rd. Blooper will have the chance now to get the potential loss off of his pitching record if he can drive in the Piana's ear. Grounder, and this one could be a double play. And it is, and the Fireballs will go down again with the 0 still haunting their score.
It's tough because the opportunities have been there. It's just that when they get to the point to drive a run in, the ball just doesn't bounce their way. The inches that matter in baseball just haven't aligned in their favor tonight.
Wario lines it to center field for a single. And let's check in with our resident statistics expert, Professor Egad, to give us his analysis on Mario's chance of mounting a comeback in their last half inning coming up. Give us your thoughts, Professor.
Fascinating probabilities at play here, my friends. The Mario Fireballs face an uphill battle heading into the 5th inning. Let us analyze the situation, shall we? Leading off will be Monty Moe, boasting a formidable 500 average, though he was 0 for 1 earlier in the game. With his consistent contact skills, he's statistically one of the Fireballs' best bets to start the rally. Next is Green Nogi, who's been an absolute spark plug with a 667 average, but again is hitless today. If these two manage to reach base, it could create the perfect storm for the top of the order to capitalize. And I see that the Muscles just added a 3rd run to their score, so I'll have to adjust my odds accordingly. Continuing on, the challenge intensifies with Baby Luigi, who is struggling mightily, being hitless on the entire season. His odds of contributing are slim, but baseball is a game of surprises. If Wario, known for his unpredictable power pitching, falters under pressure, even Baby Luigi might find a way to get on base. The key to the Fireball's comeback lies in how they handle Wario's pitching. Wario's brute force style might work to the hitter's advantage if they can time his pitches effectively. With the top of the order looming, The Fireballs must capitalize on their opportunities early in the inning, or risk falling short. Based on their batting lineup and situational statistics, I'd estimate the Fireballs' chances of mounting a comeback at roughly 23.3%. Not impossible, but they'll need some clutch hitting and a sprinkle of luck to pull it off.
Thanks, Professor. Monty Mole delivers a lead-off double to start the Fireballs off on a positive note. Liner caught, and an absolutely gutting base-running blunder by Monty Mole as he's doubled up caught off of second base for a double play just like that.
Absolutely shattering if you're a Fireballs fan, as that may have just blown their chance right there. A lead-off double with no outs suddenly shifting to 2 outs and nobody on in the blink of an eye.
Baby Luigi manages to keep it alive with his first career hit in clutch time to keep it alive for the leadoff hitter Baby Mario. Wario winding up the phony ball star pitch. Grounded to short, and that's the final out of the game as the Wario Muscles will gather their first win of the season and send the Fireballs home with a 1-win and 2-loss record.
I have to say this was a pretty well-played game by both teams. Sound fundamentals across the board, with one team just having the margins work in their favour while the other didn't. For the Muscles, this game felt more like an effort to build confidence going into next season. Their chances of getting into the playoffs are very low unless the DK Wilds get clobbered next weekend.
The DK Wilds could lose next weekend, and they will have the same record as the Muscles. But the tiebreaker is the run differential, and the DK Wilds have a huge lead in the category over the Muscles. So they would need to lose by a ton. But for this game, Wario is your MVP as he got his crew started off with the double in the first inning that drove in 2 runs, and from there, they never looked back.
Yeah, I agree with that choice. 2 hits and 2 runs batted in. He was also the runner who scored the 3rd run after Goomba batted him in. On that note, we were hearing from the Professor at that time, but that 3rd run was scored after Paratrooper laid down a nearly flawless bunt down the 3rd baseline that moved Wario to 3rd base, allowing Goomba to drive him in. That's not usually the type of small ball that the Muscles usually play. It was exciting to see them utilise some smart baseball tactics and watch it pay off for them. It'll be interesting to see if they carry that into next season or revert to their old methods.
Thank you all so much for your patience as we work through the kinks of this inaugural season. We'll see you all next weekend for the final regular season game, with the DK Wilds facing off against the Yoshi Eggs. After that, we'll begin our playoffs to crown our very first Mario Sluggers League champions. Thanks for tuning in. For Toadsworth, Pauline, and Professor Egad, I'm Danny Diamond signing us off. Good night and joy be with you all.